Psalm chapter 2, verse 3, you're going to make it. Trust me. That's very reassuring. Reassurance is one of like the key things to just settling down and just like keeping your mind clear and stuff. My name is Giannis. I am a senior at Our Lady of Good Counsel High School, and I'm an athlete, and I love hanging out with friends and family and practicing.
You do rugby and wrestling?
Yeah, yeah. Varsity wrestling and rugby kind of varies. I'm not as serious as rugby. I'm more serious as wrestling.
Okay. That's good. That's good. Now let's talk a little bit about your faith journey. What kind of got you into your faith journey? How long have you been a Christian all your life? Is it something you picked up later in life? Tell a little bit about that.
It wasn't that enforced when I was growing up. I mean, I'd go to church maybe every like other Sunday as a kid, and then growing up, I kind of stopped. But what actually like sent me into my faith was I remember it was the last day of sixth grade, and I was talking to a friend, and I remember at the time I didn't know anything, and he was talking about like the jubilation and stuff, and like it scared me, and like it kind of scared me into starting my faith. After that, I was like, oh shoot, this is kind of scary. I don't want to like go to hell, and so I was like, I'm gonna start. I didn't know where to start, so I was like, I just took my brother's Bible, and I was like, I'm gonna just start reading it and try and pray and just see how it goes. And it's been a journey trying to, I guess, do things more effectively. Like back then, I mean, it was a start, but yeah.
So as you kind of started this faith journey, what were some of the changes you noticed in your behavior and your habits and your thoughts, if there were any at all? Did you notice you were acting differently than you were before? And if so, how?
I think it helped me a lot with my patience. I think I become a lot more patient, and also like my mom's always said I've been like a nice person, and I don't know. I feel like ever since I started to tap into my faith, I feel like I've only wanted to like spread goodness. I never really wanted to wish bad upon anyone.
Talk about your wrestling ritual that you
Hmm.
what do you do before you start your match?
I mean, I'm always praying, and like I'm not just praying just for like to win. I pray for my opponents. I pray for my teammates. I pray for the other team. I always pray that no one gets hurt. I don't want anyone to get hurt. I don't want anyone to get embarrassed. Even before practice, I always pray before practice, and you know, I always want the best for everyone. I always pray to like I always pray to God to give me the strength to like give it to give my all like throughout all the practice, because especially during this wrestling season, I especially lean on God a lot because I knew it was gonna be a lot more tough than usual because I had the team captain title, and so I had a lot more load that I had to carry. And I remember in the beginning of the season, I was just praying. I was like talking to God, and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna lean on you a lot, like a lot more than usual." And it was great.
That's awesome. I love how you're able to, depend on God and lean on Him even throughout your wrestling season, and to pray for the opponents too. That says a lot about your character too, because
Mhm.
obviously you don't want anybody to get hurt. But yes, it's a for wrestling. I find that very commendable for you. What's one of your uh favorite verses or passages that if you had to pick one?
Let me pull it up. Psalm chapter 2, verse 3, and it states, you're going to make it, trust me. And I think the reason why I chose that is just because it's, like there's a lot of things that go on in life and it can kind of steer you off track, but that's very reassuring. And I think reassurance is one of like the key things to just, you know, settling down. And I guess, I mean, yeah, just like keeping your mind clear and stuff.
Have you had some doubts in your faith, which has kind of caused you to kind of like, say, okay, you're gonna make it. Trust me.
Yeah, of course. Like one thing that I also wanted to talk about was how I guess like starting into my faith, I didn't do as much, but now that I'm starting to do more, I feel like I don't know, like I feel like even though I've been doing more than I have like maybe 2 years ago, I feel like there's always something I can do more. And so I guess like just hearing that verse is just God telling me to just slow your roll and just basically tell me that I'm doing good, and just relax.
Because God said you're gonna be okay. Trust Him, and I think
Exactly.
that's so
Mhm,
you know that you're in God's hands
mhm.
throughout. So let's kind of talk about a little bit about the Bible studies. What kind of got you into that? What have you kind of learned from those? Talk about that experience for a little bit.
It's just like, I mean, like I said earlier, I've always wanted, like, I want to just do more. I'm always like looking out for things like, I don't know, whether it's Bible study or even like talking to friends about like God. Like maybe if they're not as educated, I love to like just. I mean, I'm not even that educated. I just love talking about him. And like so far as like what I've learned a lot of things. I learned about patience. I've learned also about how to interpret the Bible. Because it can be hard to read sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't really like some things don't come as clear to you. And so having other insights from other people can really help a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what's been if you are telling someone about Jesus for the first time, what do you kind of start? Do you have like something you always start with, or you just kind of give them real life examples? How do you kind of go about it?
Well, usually I just ask them I guess my way of I guess teaching is just answering questions. So I always like ask them like, is there any questions you have? Like it can be anything, like literally anything, and I can try my best to answer. And a lot of the ones I get a lot is like, if God is real, then why do bad things happen? And I wrote an essay on this in freshman year for Coach Perry, and um and I remember he loved it, and it was basically, or I guess like just for short, I mean, it's just we have free will, and it's a gift from God. And if we didn't have that, then we basically just be like programmed robots, just you know going through the day. And it's due to this free will that we do bad things and we suffer the consequences. And yeah,
I know it's tough because bad things happen. We're like, God, if you are in control, why do you allow these bad things to happen? But I think
mhm.
sometimes God sometimes uses those situations for our good. Along those lines, what's been one struggle and one victory throughout your faith journey? Maybe something that was hard, maybe a moment where you doubted God, and then maybe how something where God was able to show up in your life.
um, one struggle that I think that not only me but a lot of people go through is temptation. But also one thing is I have my Bible right next to me. I read it every night, and it wasn't until recently that I started to annotate my Bible, because I mean I would read it every night, but I feel like sometimes like it would just go through one ear and out the other, and it's like hard to retain information if you're not really like being active in it. And so right now I'm in Samuel, and it wasn't until Ruth until actually annotating my Bible. And for right now it's just like I'm underlining things, maybe writing little messages and stuff. But I think that's a challenge I've been trying to overcome. And I always look at people and like how they always have like notes and stuff from the Bible, and their Bible looks like very, I won't say messy, because it's good that they're I guess customizing it and making it their own. And I just kind of want to have that. And I guess as far as the strength, I mean, I like whenever I talk to people about God, I just honestly like I just have like a fire. Like it's just like it's truly like amazing. Like when I talk to people, my whole mood can shift. I can be doing something, and as soon as someone mentions God, my focus is just straight, just all on them. Like I'm all ears, all everything.
That's awesome. That shows really how much on fire you are for God. That as soon as somebody even brings up the name, that's how God is. As soon as you bring up the name, the situation changes in an instant.
Yeah.
So I definitely see the power of God, used at that time. So kind of along those lines, given that you have this, deep fire for Christ, if somebody asked you straight up, why do you love Jesus? What would you tell them?
I mean, that's just like a question that I don't even think can be answered with words. Like like all he's done, he's this one message floating around like on social media. But it basically said like we got what Jesus deserved and Jesus got what we deserved. And that's just like that's the most selfless thing. Like what Jesus is like the most selfless thing. That's honestly, and just like saying selfless is just like that's not enough. There's so many things you could just describe about him. And like I just look up to him. And it's like I know I can't be anywhere near him, but I just want to be like him and like be, patient and just as loving as him. And also I just love him because of like how he's changed my life, honestly. Like and going back to the whole wrestling season thing, I know for a fact I would not have been able to make it through the whole wrestling season if it weren't for him.
That's awesome. You mentioned Jesus changing your life. How so?
I mean, I think it's changed me into being a more patient person, and also I used to struggle with, I guess, procrastination, and it's kind of helped me just do things, I guess. Like sometimes when I'm sitting in my bed late at night and I'm about to go to bed, I'm like, I don't want to read my Bible. I'm like, I'm tired. I just want to, scroll my phone and go to bed. But then I just think about it. I'm like, wait, I'm just sitting here. Why don't I just read my Bible and just, might as well get some knowledge out of it.
So kind of wrap things up, Giannis, you've kind of touched on this a lot, but just as a closing thought, for people watching who may be unsure about their faith, unsure about, where their future, holds, should they follow Jesus, should they not? What would you kind of say to them?
I just say he's the way. I mean, like there are all these other religions, and I mean I respect them. One of my godfather is one of my closest. He's like my best friend, and he's Muslim. And I actually interviewed him for one of my religion projects, and of course I can see where he's standing from, but I mean at the end of the day, I have what I believe in, and I'm not gonna hurt anyone or do anything, do like wish any bad on anyone if they don't believe what I believe. And that doesn't mean I'm just gonna sit there and just let them, because there could be someone that completely knows nothing and they want to know something, and for me to just sit there and just not say anything, it's a lot of, I guess, bad on my side. And so yeah.
Well, we appreciate your time, Giannis. Thanks for coming and chatting about your faith a little bit. Definitely left a lot of good gems for everybody. And hopefully we can have you on again soon, man.
Thank you, Danny.